Hello, everybody. Welcome into the cycle, part 2 of the week. I am Ryan Wormeli, joined, as you can see, if you're watching YouTube at least, not by Mike Mayer, but by Kelly Kirby, filling in for all 3 sections this week as Mayer is out and about. He is not here to try to goad me into taking more tequila shots on every single segment like he did last week, which makes it easier on me to not have to turn away that peer pressure he was hitting me with. Although it was quite fun to do it in the first segment last week. Kelly, thanks for hopping on for this one. We'll dive right in here. We're going to talk some buys and sells. We're also going to do some waivers on this segment as well. We always start with our favorite buy lows. And I always say, we list it as a buy low and sell high. Technically, it could be a buy high and a sell low. It's really just a buy and sell because sometimes it does fit in those other ways. I think we kind of both went with the more standard interpretation of it this time. I'll go first with the buy low. I put Kristian Campbell, and then I put parentheses gross because there's not a whole lot in the profile that says this is somebody who is going to be regressing to the mean soon, and you need to be getting in on him before his numbers catch up to his expected numbers. I mean, technically his batting average is lower than expected, but his expected batting average is still 234. So it's, it's not like it's anything great. Same with slugging. It's technically he's below what his expected is, but his expected is not high. The reason that I picked him was 2 reasons. One, I really struggled to come up with a good buy this week. I just did not have a lot of options that I liked. It was the section of preparing for the show that took me the longest because I just couldn't land on somebody that I felt really good about recommending. I did think about Bo Bichette, which I talked about a little in our part 1 of this week's episode, but ultimately went away from him. With Campbell, the 2 real reasons that I kind of fell back to him, one is starting to play a little first base. I know that's a position that some people need. So just getting that extra positional versatility, I am interested in having that on my roster. But B, it's really just saying top prospects take some time to adjust, and I'm going to believe in the pedigree and believe in his talent as a top prospect in baseball and believe that he will figure it out. There's nothing in the numbers where I'm sitting here saying he's definitely going to figure it out for this reason. And here's the one stat why you should be buying a Kristian Campbell. This is strictly he is the type of guy I want to be buying in, a top prospect who got off to a slow start, who has positional versatility, who's in a lineup that could be good at some point if they call up Anthony and get Bregman healthy and all that stuff. And he's just the type of guy that also you can get pretty cheap. So you can actually buy low on him, I think, in any redraft format. So that's why I picked him. I don't have a ton of conviction with it because, like I said, it was difficult for me to pick somebody here, but Campbell's where I ended up going. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the definition of low, right? So if you believe that this is going to turn around, I'm with you. I think that it's an okay. Just make sure you absolutely do not overpay in any way. You really, really want to keep it low for him.
Yeah, for sure. Who do you have as your buy low?
I went with I secretly call him Mr. Boring, but I was gonna go with Juan Soto. We talked about that a little bit in the first episode, and again, if you're in a league with people who panic, then maybe I feel like everyone's gonna hold him anyway. So I pivoted to Bryan Reynolds. He got off to a real sluggish start. He's currently batting .223. He's only got 7 home runs, 30 RBIs. The Pirates did either set or came close to the record for going the most games in a row without scoring more than 4 runs. It was just a mess. His strikeout rate is also up to 26.7 from his career 22.2%. And his expected batting average isn't astoundingly better. It's at .263, but that's kind of in line with what he usually does. But the thing that I want is his slugging. So he's currently at .360, but his expected slugging is .502. So I think that the home runs are coming. His weighted on base average is also 70 points below expected. And I think a lot of it has to do, he has a .278 BABIP, and his career mark is .324. So I would be completely willing to buy at this point, that he will revert back to being Mr. Boring, but also Mr. Consistent, and he's not going to hurt you. Like, basically, Bryan Reynolds is who you draft in that round where everyone else is like reaching for like the hot players like Roki Sasaki, and you just draft him because his floor is just like made of concrete. He's going to sit there, and it's not a bad person to have on your team.
Listen, for that one manager in my other league, the round you reach on Roki Sasaki is round 1. So,
yeah.
Bryan Reynolds, I mean, the last 4 seasons, home run totals 24, 27, 24, 24. Just like a metronome of consistency. Do you think he gets to the mid-20s this year, or do you think the slow start will, could he fall short of 20 this year? Like, to what degree do you see that kind of bounce back playing out over the course of the season in terms of the power numbers?
I think he'll get to 20 for sure. I mean, I can see 24. I just think it depends on kind of how fast he bounces back. But he hit a homer a couple days ago, and I think it's coming. Like, it's sitting right there. So I think he'll get to 20. He might fall a little short of the 24.
Realistically, even the pace he's on, seemingly down, he's on pace for about 20, like even with this slow pace. So, if he picks it up, then could even get back to that kind of 24, 25 range. So I like the pick. Bryan Reynolds is one of my favorites every year. So I'm super on board with this. Let's go to the sell highs. I put Jose Altuve. He has finally started to show some signs of life. Some of the counting stats were okay even prior to this stretch, down for him, like particularly on the batting average, but it was okay. Like, he had like 6 homers and 4 steals or something, through mid-May. It wasn't like it was like a literal nothing, but very bad for Altuve. And then the thing where we talked about in a couple weeks on this show, the StatCast data is really, really poor. It's a lot of very dark blue on his StatCast page. I mean, his average, even with this hot streak, his average exit velocity is 85.3 miles per hour. That's 4th percentile. His sweet spot percentage is 2nd percentile in baseball. It's under a quarter of the time. Bat speed is 11th percentile. Hard hit rate 10th. Barrel rate 21st. Expected batting average 24th. Like, the expected batting average for Altuve, his batting average is 267. His expected number is 236. Like, that's just so unlike Altuve. Even like a year ago, that was 75th percentile. The expected batting average this year is 24th. It's been very, very poor. So I think if you have Altuve on your roster, you're probably saying, oh, I suffered through this kind of poor start. Now we're going to kind of start reaping the benefits. He had 2 home runs in a game recently. Like, we're going to start to see this thing come around. I would look at these numbers that kind of under the hood and say, take advantage of the name value and the recent hot streak and see what you can trade him for. If you end up having to keep him, I don't think it's the end of the world. This isn't to sell at any cost, but I think you can actually sell high and get more value than you will be getting from Altuve rest of the season. So I would be looking to trade him coming off this last, weekish of strong play.
Who would you rather have rest of season, Westberg or Altuve?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think most people would say Altuve. Well, maybe I'm wrong about that. I think most people would say Altuve. They both have positional versatility with Altuve having outfield now. I think I would rather have. I think I would rather have Westberg. That's a really. Mayer always throws out his he puts looks at the trade value chart and throws out his ones, and sometimes they're not very good. That's a good one. I think I would rather have Westberg. But I feel more comfortable once I see him back healthy and being the Westberg that I expected him to be. But I think that's really close. That's a great one.
Yeah, and I like Altuve, but I've been keeping an eye on his numbers all year, and it has not. It hasn't looked good, but like you said, there's a really high name value. So, as always, just look at your roster. Like, what could you improve on, and then go check out our trade chart, run it through our trade analyzer. But like always, keep in mind, like I'm kind of into selling like the higher hitters for high pitchers. At this point in the year, like if I'm selling high on Altuve, I would want a decent pitcher back. But if you can find a healthy one, go for it. Yeah.
I think he's a good one with the name value. His chase rate too, like 8th percentile, like just brutal. So yeah, sell Altuve. Hopefully for somebody pretty decent given the name value. You've got a pretty high name value player here as your sell high.
Yeah, the other guy that I've been looking at whenever we do the like buy low sell high articles, I feel like I always look at Altuve, and then Trea Turner is vastly outperforming what his underlying metrics are, like to a degree that I wasn't even aware of. So like he's currently batting 305, but his expected is 265. He has only 5 home runs on the year, and his slugging percentage again is due for regression. He does have 14 stolen bases, which, you know, I can understand that being kind of difficult to give up if you don't have a good backup. You know, if you didn't draft stolen bases, he was supposed to be it, then you're kind of stuck a little bit. But again, the big name, I would throw him out there, see what people want to talk about. And if I'm going to start anything to try to get Soto, if I had Trea Turner, I would start with Trea Turner and something else and toss that to the Soto manager and see what happens. Just to see how much name value does Turner have at this point.
What kind of pitchers would you be looking to trade him for?
That's a little trickier, I think. I'm trying. That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, like I like a Joe Ryan, Pablo Lopez. Like, I mean, that's not high. Those aren't big enough names, but they're consistent. And they've been pretty healthy. I mean, Lopez has had his IL stint, I think, because he's typically very, very healthy. So I like either one of them, just to, you know, and then I would throw in maybe another hitter of the. I don't know why I'm stuck on Westberg now, but I would throw in another hitter at that point.
Would you trade? I'm looking at our rest of season rankings on FantasyPros.com. So the next, well, would you trade Turner for Jacob deGrom? I'm so out on deGrom staying healthy, and so far it's burdened me this year, but like I don't have him anywhere.
I feel like I'm the most known Fantasy Pros deGrom downer. Like I have not drafted him. I will not draft him. Like he will not be on any of my teams for the remainder of his career. Like I don't, and maybe he makes it through, and I am fine eating that. Like, so no, I'm not taking deGrom for Turner. Because I'm not buying the health. Like he is the Mike Trout of pitching.
We have Yamamoto below Turner rest of the season. I think you and I would both agree to go for Yamamoto there. Yeah. I'll give you one more pitcher. Trea Turner, or thinking that he's going to be back within about a week, Cole Ragans.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, again, I would check his health, but if he looks, everything seems to be on track for him. So yeah, I would make that trade pretty quickly, I think, at this point. I just think Turner, depending on your makeup of your team, but I think Turner is in for some serious regression in some of the areas that you want him to be better at, and pitching is always scarce this time of year because everyone's gotten down. So
you train hard, you show up, but lately something feels off. Fatigue lingers, recovery takes longer, and your performance isn't where it used to be. These might be signs of low testosterone, a condition affecting about 30% of adult men in America. Kaizatrex is an FDA-approved testosterone replacement therapy designed for men like you. It's not an injection, and it's not a gel. It's a twice-daily pill that fits seamlessly into your active lifestyle, helping restore your testosterone to optimal levels. Don't let low T hold you back. Visit Kaizatrex.com to learn more and find a provider near you who can help you get started. That's KYZATREX.com. By prescription only, Kaizatrex is a controlled substance that can be a target of abuse. Kaizatrex is not for use in pregnant women or men with prostate or breast cancer. Safety and efficacy in those younger than 18 is not known. Tell your doctor about all medical conditions and medications. Serious side effects can include increased blood pressure, worsening prostate symptoms, increased risk of prostate cancer, blood clots in the legs or lungs, decreased sperm count, liver problems, enlarged or painful breasts, and breathing problems while you sleep. Common side effects include swelling of the ankles, feet, or body, increased red blood cell count, increase in prostate-specific antigen or PSA levels. PSA is a test used to detect prostate cancer. Report these symptoms to your doctor. Call your doctor to learn more about Kaizatrex. For questions or more information, visit www.kaizatrex.com or call 1-833-949-5040. Kind of messed that up at the end, but I did pretty well with the speed run through that prior to the end. All right, let's go to our waivers central here. Kelly, I'll let you start on this one.
I'm always impressed by the ability to get through that. And also, I think everyone should be impressed with my ability to not say something snarky about it. Okay, so first I offered, I was like, should I say Ty France in honor of Mayer just because we miss him? But I wrote down Matt Shaw. I think if he's out there, like I think a lot of people dropped him after the first stint. He's only rostered, I think, in like 40 to 44% of leagues. In the 31 at bats since he's been back, he's got 11 hits. He scored 5 runs, stolen 4 bases. I think he's locked in as the Cubs third baseman at this point because the corpse of Justin Turner is not going to get it done. So I'm buying the second stint of the rookie. So that's who I have.
I believe he was my pick last week, actually, in this spot, and I think it's fine to pick him again because his roster percentage is still too low. Like, I mean, he's somebody I was drafting a ton of, as I already mentioned in the first segment this year, and that roster percentage should I mean, it needs to be over 50% for sure. Like, coming back in the second sit, already looking better the second time around. So, like, strong agreement for me there. I went with Ryan O'Hearn, who I was actually really surprised to look at his roster percentages. So he's 60% rostered on CBS, which, by the way, is still too low, but it's at least more acceptable. 22% on Yahoo, 27% on ESPN. I don't know what – I know those numbers are always lower than they are on CBS, but I don't know what people are waiting for. Like, especially Yahoo. Like, people play on Yahoo, even if it's not as common as some of these other sites. There's under a quarter of people rostering him. Or I guess for Yahoo, it's under a third. It's under a quarter on ESPN. But still, like, that's just insane to me. He has been awesome this year. And O'Hearn is somebody that I was wrong about as an Orioles fan. I said they should have traded him last year. I was like, listen, you got a fun, a couple seasons out of him, but like, this is clearly like a late season. If it is a late career breakout, like, this is, I don't think it's going to be long lasting. There's other great prospects in the organization. I was wrong. He has been their best hitter by a mile this year. He's been one of the best hitters in baseball. Like, there are a lot of stats this year where it's like Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, Ryan O'Hearn. I think that might surprise people. Like, he has been insanely good. He's got 160 at-bats this season, 9 home runs, a 338 batting average, and a 977 OPS. And by the way, his expected numbers are great. His expected batting average is 99th percentile. It's 327. His expected WOBA is 94th percentile in baseball, over 400. His average exit velocity is over 90 miles per hour. His hard hit rate, 87th percentile. It's over 50%. It's just a lot of red on a StatCast page, in addition to a really excellent triple slash line right now. Almost 10 homers. I think he should be an all-star this year. I mean, again, he's been the Orioles' best player by a pretty wide margin. His strikeout rate came down a lot last year. It was in the 20s every year of his career. Before last year, it was at 14%, a huge decrease. This year, it's a little up from last year. It's at 16%, but still way down from the career mark. The walk rate is the second highest of his career, but he is just crushing the ball. He's got a great eye at the plate right now. He's taking close pitches, and he's almost always right about them. He's dialed in. He's batting 5th, which really bothers me. He should be batting like 3rd in this lineup right now, the way the rest of the guys are hitting. There's no reason for Adley to be hitting ahead of him in the lineup right now. But yeah, O'Hearn's been awesome this year. Like, truly one of the best players in baseball if you look at the under the hood stats, and has also been getting the counting stats. And for some reason is just not like, I think he should be. I mean, I think if he gets on a cold streak down the line, he's droppable. But right now, he should be over 90% rostered in CBS, and he should be over 50% in the other two. Like, there is no reason for him to be on pretty much any waiver wire outside of the shallowest of leagues, Kelly.
Yeah, is he batting against lefties? I mean, are they leaving him in? Or is he still kind of platooning?
Kind of platooning, but they've started to leave him in more, like, against lefty relievers later on in the game.
Okay.
So he's not always starting against them, but it's not like an auto. I'm really curious to see kind of what pattern Tony Mansolino falls into as the Orioles interim manager, because Hyde was very much an auto. Like, he played the splits, like, to a fault, in my opinion. And I don't think Mansolino is doing that as much. Like, Holiday's obviously playing a lot more in the last couple of weeks. So I hope that, especially since he's your best player, that he just becomes an everyday guy and they don't worry about that as much moving forward.
And don't get me wrong, in a waivers guy, like it doesn't particularly matter if they're in a platoon, like depending on how deep your league is, like pick him up. He's on a tear, like you said. If he goes on some sort of really long cold streak, drop him. Like, this isn't, especially if you don't have to give up anything other than a little bit of fab to get him. Like, yeah, you're not going to lose anything, and like you said, his expected numbers are right there. So I think it's okay he's definitely a target for sure.
I'm in that league where I'm doing really well in. It's a relatively deep league. There's only 10 teams, but it's pretty big rosters. And I picked him up for free like 3 days ago, like just still not rostered. So he is available for basically nothing. Let's go to our favorite pitchers. You can go first again here.
Yeah, I had a tough time with this one.
This is every single week. Mayor and I are like, well, we didn't really know what to do with pitcher. We might as well remove this from the show.
I mean, it's just like, yeah, there's just so few, I think, out there that you really want to pick up. But so I'm going to roll with Zebby Matthews from the Twins just because he's getting some more innings. They're letting him start. I think that he's getting, stretched out a little bit. His last start against Kansas City went really well. I mean, he only went 4 innings, but he only walked 1 person and struck out 9. So I'm willing to build on that. I trust the Twins a lot with their starting pitchers, Chris Paddock notwithstanding, but between like Lopez and Ryan and Ober, I'm fine. Like, and I think Matthews, he may not stick in the rotation, but like right now, I'm willing to give him a few more starts if the Twins are. So he's my pickup, but no, it was rough. It was rough sledding on out there.
I'm curious what you think about my pick here, which is Lance McCullers. Very available, 25% on CBS, 7% on Yahoo, 3% on ESPN rostered. Coming off of yesterday, an actually really good start. Clearly, didn't pitch for 2 full seasons. He had that blow up where he gave up 7 earned runs in just a third of an inning on May 10th against the Reds. But that is really kind of dragging up the ERA. The rest of the starts, it's been pretty good. It's been, 10? It's been 18 innings, 5 earned runs, so like a 2.50 ERA. If you take out that one blow up where he was just awful. But he had 12 strikeouts yesterday. In the last 10 1/3 innings, he has 20 strikeouts. Looking closer to the McCullers of old. And he's very available. So similar to maybe some of these other guys we've scoffed at, Trout and DeGrom, you're not feeling very confident about staying healthy, and I don't even know if you're that confident about him staying good. But given what he has been at past points in his career, given the fact that this is now 2 okay, I mean he only went 4 1/3 innings his last start out, but he had 8 strikeouts in that time, so it's 2 very high strikeout outings back to back that aren't killing the ERA the way that early blow up did. I'm interested in rostering him. I don't know that I'm giving up, the farm for him. Well, I know I'm not, is what I should say, giving up the farm for him. And I don't know what I would expect health wise rest of season. But coming off these last 2 starts, I want to pick him up if I need to find a pitcher.
Yeah, same rules apply here, right? Like if you have space or you have an injury replacement, I think you can certainly do worse than McCullers. And if he blows up twice, then you've learned your lesson, toss him back. But I think at this point, especially I'm not sure who his matchups are coming up, but yeah, I think he's totally viable to pick up as a waiver.
Oh, that was the other thing too. He gets Pittsburgh in his next start.
Okay. So that
is extra, I think, inside. I think he gets the Guardians after that. But yeah, Pittsburgh is his next lined up start.
Okay.
So that's an appealing one.
For sure.
All right, we'll go ahead and wrap up there for part 2. If you missed part 1, be sure to check out Rounding the Bases. We went through some lessons learned this season, some other news and notes, and stick around for part 3 coming up later this weekend, where we talk about some pitching streamers and we go through our 2-start pitcher competition and other fun stuff. For Kelly, I'm Ryan Wormeli. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.